This is the Frank and Friends Show. Hi, I'm Frank Murphy.
And I'm Mindy Thomas.
Hello, Mindy Thomas.
Hello.
Look at you with your Nativity Pageant sweatshirt on.
I'm ready in all of my blue.
I think I might need to turn on the air conditioning in the house because it's already warm with the heat on and the lights on. But you'll be okay.
It's okay.
Because you're cool under pressure is what I've learned.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I thought it would be fun on this episode of the Frank and Friends Show to talk about the Nativity Pageant of Knoxville, and we'll explain why and all of that. So I invited Mindy to come over and co-host today's show. But we do want you to subscribe on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, smash the bell for notifications. Even if the least you can do is click thumbs up, because you won't do any of the other things, that somehow still helps put the video in front of more people. And I'm counting on there's a whole cadre of volunteers involved with the Nativity Pageant. I'm counting on all of you
for sure
to share and subscribe. I promise, it'll be all right.
It's a good thing to do.
Yeah, thank you very much. Also, our Frank and Friends Show merch would make an ideal, it's not as good as that. What is? But, we've got the Frank and Friends hoodie, which I've folded up in such a fashion that you might not even know it's a hoodie, but it is. And then my friend Bruce Patrick sent us a picture of himself wearing the crew-necked version of the red, this is the hood part. I kind of like the way I folded it, and I'm going to use it again at the end of the show, so I'm going to keep it nice.
For sure.
I don't know who's using the beach towel at this time of year, but you could take a shower. People take showers in the winter, and you can look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Yes. Isn't that nice? Big logo. And or drinkware. I think what I would like for Christmas is some of the pint glasses. I've got the coffee, or actually I need another coffee mug. But we can do all of that kind of stuff, and you get that at frankandfriendshow.com/store. Okay, so it's already Christmas time, or Happy Advent, really, is what I should say, because technically it's Advent now, and this is the latest Advent can start. I saw on the calendar.
I didn't know that.
Well, because it's just the way the calendar works out.
The way that it falls.
Yeah, when Christmas falls on a Monday, that's what happens, because Christmas Eve is also the fourth Sunday of Advent, so it's just, it's so crazy calendar-wise. Right. And we had, on the weekend before Advent began, Christmas parades. As you're well aware, we had the Carnes Christmas Parade, the Rocky Hill Christmas Parade, downtown WIBK has their parade, Gatlinburg has their parade. Now, I'm not saying there aren't any more parades, there still are. I think Oak Ridge is coming up this weekend, and you can look online, there's plenty. But
Loudon, I think, does one.
As far as I'm concerned,
yes.
I'm done with parades. And I have now moved on.
Paraded out.
I like parades. I love them. I do enjoy them. But I've now moved on to Nativity Pageant weekend, because it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is hard to get. I know it, but sometimes you want to automatically say, and people automatically assume it's a Friday, but it's not.
Correct.
It's a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So tell me, first of all, how did I get involved? How did you get involved? and we also, eventually we'll learn more about you and your twirling and everything, but start with Nativity. Get to that right up front.
So this year is the 55th anniversary.
55th? You're not even that old.
Of the pageant, and it has been part of the Knoxville community for so long, and it's something
Did you play the baby Jesus at some point?
I did not.
Like you're around year 20 somewhere.
Sure. Of course I'm 20.
No, I mean 20 years into, well, never mind. I won't do the math.
20 years into the...
Never, I'm not going to do the math.
But it was something that has been around since I was a child, and I went to when I was younger, and a friend of mine who was also on the board with me, we were talking about
how did you get on the
volunteer opportunities in Knoxville. Right. And it was kind of on my volunteer bucket list.
Oh.
And
as boards go and as volunteering goes, the Nativity Pageant has a military-like system of organization.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It is the easiest job.
I'll compare it more to, I don't want to insult you by saying it reminds me of a sorority, because you have this sisterhood of people who run the pageant.
Yes.
And you wear the same shirts, and you all show up, and you've got the same happiness, and you know what I mean? So that when you first encounter this, you're like, what have I just walked into?
Of course.
There's all of these ladies
In our
with their
blue shirts.
matching shirts, and they're everywhere. And there's they all seem to know the chain of command and who's in charge. And not only that, who's going to be in charge next year and the year after.
Yes. And
so that's what I mean that as a compliment.
So many. Yes.
Okay, because I work with a lot of nonprofits and I show up once a year to make noises once a year, and I see from my bird's eye view the organization how some are excellent and some less.
Yes,
you're in the excellent.
It is very well run, very well organized. I say it's the easiest job I have ever volunteered for,
really?
But not in the idea that it's easy. It's just very well organized.
It's a lot of work.
The reason behind it is very fulfilling. Yeah. There is just so many good things about the pageant and working behind the scenes that it's just enjoyable, and it really kind of starts feeling like Christmas once the Nativity Pageant happens.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're telling the story starting 9 months before Christmas,
right? On
the feast of the ANNUNCIATION, Go Annunciation. I went to a grade school called Annunciation.
Nice.
My sister was a cheerleader, so we heard that a lot. That was so March 25th, 9 months before Christmas. The Annunciation is when the story begins. In Nazareth with Mary and the angel Gabriel and Joseph and all of that. And then in the course of 1 hour, with music and an orchestra and a huge choir, you're able to, and a cast of 200 people on the floor. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I think it's about 200 people. The choir this year is very large, and they're having a children's choir.
No kidding. Is that new?
So that's a new thing.
Really?
It'll be very interesting to kind of see how that works.
Well, Andrew Duncan, has taken over as the music director. He is
extremely talented.
And I know him from the Knoxville Choral Society.
Yes.
My wife is in the Choral Society. And I mean, he's what a musical genius guy, great guy. That's good. And apparently he's good at, I sent him over my next door neighbor needed some house repairs. I said, well.
Handy Andy.
I said, I saw an ad in the program of the Choral Society for Handy Andy, and I know personally he's a nice guy. I've never seen, and she raves about him. I would call him again in a minute. He did a great job.
Fantastic.
So anyway. Yeah. All right, so there's all of that, but I think we're not even painting the picture. We're giving you these detailed looks, but the bigger picture is we're in the arena where they play hockey.
It does not look like that.
No, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't. They start the week prior.
They got to melt the ice.
Yes. So very soon they're going to be putting plastic down and the mulch and really just setting the scene of
This all surprises me because I think I went to a concert in the 80s, so that would be up in the D.C. area.
Yes.
And I went whatever one concert it was that I was able to get floor tickets for some show, some big show. And my recollection, and this is again, 1980s, early 80s. Sure. My recollection is that our chairs were on plywood, and that the plywood was on top of the ice, and that and one of the corners of the plywood was frayed, and you could see the ice under there. I even stuck my finger in that and said, "Well, that's ice."
Yes.
So that seems odd to me. That I guess technology has advanced,
and that they melted
for the Nativity Pageant. They completely removed the ice.
Yes.
So that you can put down the mulch.
The ice will be already melted. There's a comedian in town.
And his jokes will melt ice.
Yes. But so I think that there's an event.
A concert or a whatever. Yeah, they'll take advantage of the fact that you guys are going to rent the room with no ice to book several other
so that helps
non-ice events, and they send the hockey team is scheduled to be out of town always on that weekend.
Yes.
But they're back the following weekend because I'm back in the building again a week later to visit with my wife while she sings in the Clayton Holiday Concert with the Knoxville Symphony Orchestra the weekend after Nativity. And there's almost always a hockey game going on in the arena. And it's the same backstage area, so you're crisscrossing with the hockey
usually during
folks.
Teardown of the pageant, because we take it apart. We start taking it apart after the last show.
After the third show, which is a Monday night.
Yes, and so Tuesday we're there meeting the moving trucks and everybody that carries the sets out.
You got to take Bethlehem out. You got to take Nazareth with you. You got to.
We have to hold on to it.
It's all got to go. Isaiah's rock has got to go. Everything must go.
And they are usually putting the ice back down that morning.
Is it a guy with a hose? I mean, how does that?
No, they have a little machine that they're kind of like a Zamboni, I guess.
A reverse Zamboni.
Maybe.
I might have
but they're putting it back.
I might have to come watch that.
9 a.m.
Actually, you know what, though? I'll end up having to carry stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
You'll be busy. We'll put you to work. We're still wearing blue shirts on Tuesday.
Oh, my goodness. How many do you have?
I think now I have 5.
Because you can, okay, because I mean, you always, everything always smell fresh as a daisy whenever, it's not
Whenever
like
you wear mulch or are around mulch for 3 days straight,
you want a fresh shirt.
you smell really nice. And so
I meant
does
that you probably change. You don't wear the same sweatshirt all 3 days in a row. It would be crazy.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you come to the Nativity Pageant on Saturday afternoon
Yes,
at,
3 o'clock.
but you want to get there at least by 2:30, right?
So you can park and walk and get a seat because it is open seating. There are no tickets. Or
Oh yeah, you want to be parked by closer to 2:15.
Yes.
Because there's a prelude. There's a musical prelude.
Yes.
Before the pageant, and you want to be in your seats, I'd say, by 2:40. That's when the prelude starts.
Yes. You want to see the special music is what we typically call it. We always have visiting musicians that come and play.
Did I tell you it was my wife one year?
No.
Yeah, one year my wife got booked to be the musical prelude.
That's amazing.
And, well, she thought it was going to be cool, so she gets there. But we didn't know. We were kind of newer to town.
Yes.
So we get there, and she's looking around for like a piano or an accompanist. And they're like, no, you're the musical entertainment.
Yes.
So she got out her pitch pipe and her choir hymn book, and she sang a cappella
For
Christmas carols
15 to 20 minutes.
20 minutes straight. I recorded it. I still have the
amazing.
video. It's on my old flip phone. I mean,
I bet she did wonderful.
she did. That's why I saved the video. I'm so amazed and impressed by her.
I love it. Well, no, and you want to be in your seats too because it starts in entire, like, complete darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't want to be getting popcorn or
Right.
shuffling in. And they won't let you in.
Yeah, for that until the lights come up a little bit.
I think it's about 4 minutes until the lights come up.
Yeah.
But there's going to be photo opportunities this year. They have
Photos
they're doing
with what? The donkey?
Like,
Jenny?
Jenny is
is
no longer with us. I'm so. See, you're going to need the tissues now.
I do always keep tissues in
I
case
know.
in case I make the co-host cry. The co-host
Yes.
never makes me cry. Well, Jenny, see, I thought it was kind of ironic that her name was Jenny because that is the technical term for a female donkey.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like you know how there's
I'm learning all kinds of new
roosters
things.
and hens.
Yes.
And there's horses and mares. There's Jacks and Jennies.
And her name was Ginny.
Well, she was a Jenny.
But she was a
was
Jenny.
Jenny the Jenny.
Yes.
But now you're saying it doesn't matter because
Yes.
do we have a new donkey?
We do. His name is Levi.
Another biblical name. Well, a biblical name.
So I think that he will fit right in.
Oh, good.
Yes.
All right. Well, sorry.
And Ginny, I mean, we knew that Ginny was getting old and that it was going to be soon. And
You need to audition a new Jenny like you had to audition for a new Mary.
we did audition
Oh,
for a
no,
new
I won't
Mary.
get to that in a minute.
Yes. There are so many new things. Levi being one of them.
Donkey.
I know. I was very sad. I have a picture with Ginny.
Who's the picture? Good. Who's the photo ops with then? If it's not with.
So before the pageant starts, we're just going to have like a nativity backdrop, kind of just a fun. They're doing a little social media campaign
Yeah.
to kind of bring
Hashtag.
awareness and that kind
Okay.
of thing. And then after the pageant is over, all of the characters will come out into the lobby, and you can get pictures with Gabriel or the beggar or the kings. So
Yeah.
it's very
Snidely King Herod and all
Yes.
those. That's fantastic.
people love King Herod.
Well, he's got the best voice.
Yes.
So, all right.
does.
So you come in darkness. The lights start to come up, and here we are. It's Nazareth. We don't even see Bethlehem down at the other end, at the
Right.
other end of the arena. They're like where the goals are. Where one goal is Bethlehem, the other goal is Mary's house in Nazareth, which then we use later again to be Herod's palace. They dress it up a little differently.
Yes.
And all that stuff is at the one end. I'm pointing to from my perspective where I'm looking at it. It's to my right. But if you're on the other side of the arena, then obviously it's flipped. But I'd say you want to get a seat kind of in the center-ish so you can have a good view of everything and not too down far up. You can come up a little high. You want to get a little bit of height on that
Yes.
to see the full
To get the full effect.
spectacle. I have the advantage of when I'm at the pageant, as we'll explain, of being in the very, very, very last row. In fact, if I stand up, I hit the ceiling.
Yes.
And that, in my opinion, is the best seat in the house because, as long as I remember to wear my glasses.
You can truly see everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'm really delighted to be involved in the Nativity Pageant, which again is coming up on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is the 9th, 10th, 11th of December.
Yes.
The Saturday and Sunday shows are at 3.
They are at 3 o'clock.
And the Monday night, how did that ever come about? Why is it not
Monday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Why is it Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Monday night of all things?
I think because people have so many plans on Friday evenings that you have the Saturday afternoon and Sunday after church, which Sunday is typically our biggest crowd.
Sure.
But then if you have to go after working hours on Monday.
Yeah, because the whole cast has, a lot of them have jobs and things to do.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And it's hard to get there, I think, right after work on a Friday. And
yeah. So we make you go there right after work on a Monday.
Exactly. Nothing like adding to your Monday.
No, it's 7:30 at night.
Yes.
It's fine. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well,
7 to 8. And it's not very long.
No, it's a great
great show.
It's a great show. 1 hour with all of these wonderful
You can still
things.
make it home by bedtime.
So I guess we've waited long enough. I need to tell you. We need to talk about the voices. But speaking of audio entertainment, let me work in a commercial real quick for Audible. And if you do love all forms of audio entertainment, like this podcast, like audiobooks, like any of the things, you can use our URL to get a free 30-day premium membership. And premium memberships get a credit every month for an MP3 download. And this is a file that you keep forever. You pick an audiobook that's worth 1 credit, you download it, and you don't ever, even if you stop subscribing to Audible, you keep that download. And the same thing happens every month that you continue paying to be a premium member. So it's a great deal. You go to audibletrial.com/FrankandFriendsShow and try it for 30 days. They think you're going to love it and they think you're going to stick around. But if you cancel it, that's okay. You're still helping us by even just trying it for the 30 days and getting that MP3 download. So don't miss out on that. I always like to look for the longest possible book.
Yes.
Because if you got a long car ride, you could burn your MP3 credit on a 3-hour book, but maybe
that's only driving to Nashville.
6 or 8 hour
get you home.
book instead.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So that's something to look for. Now, some books, like I don't even know some of these books now that are out are like 48 hours long. I don't know how many credits that would be. That's going to be more than 1 credit.
I'm not sure. I think I've used it on a long book, super long book.
Oh, good. Well, you want to try it all out and enjoy because it keeps your place, whether you're using your phone or your tablet or your Amazon Echo in the house. So when you switch from the house to the car to the AirPods to the other thing, the Bluetooth, all your devices, it'll sync right up and remember where you left off in the book. And it's kind of a way to save some time.
Yes.
Because that's what I do, and podcasts are on Audible too, including ours. I listen to those more often when I'm driving than anything else.
Right.
Especially on a long ride. Okay, audibletrial.com/FrankandFriendsShow. Mindy Thomas is here. Mindy, you were a past president of the Nativity Pageant of Knoxville. I think the year that I was so lucky and so blessed to get involved, I think you might have been president at that point.
It was 2021.
That you were president. Okay, so I think I was in before that.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to remember how many.
Was it 19?
There was a lockdown
18,
that I heard
yes.
about. So we missed a year. Mm-hmm. But I think I joined in, I think it's been in the cast for 2019, 2021, 2022, and then 2023, I think will be my 4th time. And they keep inviting me back. Shocking.
We enjoy having you.
Well, I think I've told the story before. When I was first approached by it, I was told, "Hey, our voice guy canceled, and the pageant is this week or next week, whatever it is. Can you do this on short notice?" And I looked at my calendar. I'm like, "Well, yeah, I don't have any parade. The Christmas parades are the week before, and Jerry's concert with the Clayton is the week after. I can do it." Mm-hmm. And they said, "Okay, good. It's just this 1 year. We just need you this 1 year, and then you'll be free."
Yes. Then we roped you into the Nativity family.
But I liked it. I was complimented to be invited back. I'm like, because the first year I'm in there, I'm like, well, I got nothing to lose. I'm gonna go. They just want me to do 6 different character voices, and
it's amazing.
I thought, I've got nothing to lose. I'm not even trying to keep the job. I'm just going to give it all I got, and let's see what happens.
How do you keep voices straight?
Well, I take notes.
Okay.
But I have them now. I've done them now enough times. So let's run through now, first of all, your father-in-law is a great radio voice and a great guy, and he's one of I'll call him the straight narrators.
Yes.
Because and there's I don't know who's filling in as the narrator number 1 is a woman.
It is my mother-in-law.
Oh.
It's a whole family affair.
Now, her name confuses the heck out of me because I want to call her Kim, but then she calls on TV and calls herself Sims, and then she's...
Yes.
Is
so I think Sims Thomas is her professional name.
When she's on TV. She used to be on the news.
Yes, but when she was on the news in Knoxville, she was Kim Thomas still.
Oh.
But they moved to
California.
Yeah. And I think that's when Sims
became
kind of
hip kind of now.
Well, sure. It makes it a little different.
Oh, good. I didn't realize that's who was doing it.
So I think most people know her as Sims.
Okay. So Sims Thomas is going to be the narrator number 1. Bob Thomas, narrator number 2.
Yes.
And then is it Amy Evans going to be the voice of Mary, maybe?
I can check. I think
Well, check.
that she is.
You've got the cast list right over there. Why am I telling you anything?
I know.
You should be telling me.
I think that she is.
Where's that?
Yes, Amy Evans.
Okay, so she does the voice of Mary. And then there's just these other characters who all get about one line. Now, Gabriel gets more than one line, but, a couple of them get a few.
Yes.
But for the most part, got a bunch of male characters who have different lines. And they showed me the script, and I thought, well, I can't make them all sound the same.
Right.
What fun is that?
It's not fun.
And
but it is fun when you watch it now.
when I lived in LA, when I lived in California, I would love talking to the people who did the cartoon voices.
Oh, for sure.
They fascinated me, and we would do radio plays, live radio plays at KLOS. And I would get June Foray, who was the voice of Rocky Squirrel, or Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson.
Yes.
There was another lady who, she was so sweet, Christine something, and she was the voice of a boy cartoon character that everybody loved at the time, but she passed away. Anyway, we get a lot of these cartoon voices. Jess Harnell from Animaniacs, and we would have this scene in A Christmas Carol where he would play the 4 guys outside Scrooge's room who were going to divvy up his garments. But he would do them as the 4 Beatles, and it was like rat-a-tat-tat. He would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 2, 1. He would just do them, and he knew which was which, and you could tell the difference. And you wouldn't think you could tell the difference, but you could totally tell the difference.
Yes.
And it was so I
just
thought
small changes.
So I'm thinking of Jess Harnell and all these other guys.
You're channeling your inner.
We would have Mark Hamill would come in, and he would be the not Ebenezer. Well, he did play Ebenezer Scrooge one year, but he played Marley's ghost and the Ghost of Christmas Future in these scary, haunting voices, and very exciting.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, all right, here's my chance, right? I'm going to be in the Nativity Pageant in Knoxville. So you got to play Isaiah.
Yes.
So I was thinking, well, Old Testament. First, all right, maybe something for that. Then you're the angel Gabriel, which is good, right?
Yes.
He's kind of a hero of the story. There's a shepherd boy.
Yes.
There is a centurion.
Very stern.
Yeah, there's one of the magus, which is, or actually a magus, which is one of the magi. That's singular for magi is magus.
Yes.
You already knew that.
Yes.
Okay.
Learning lots of new things.
I'm trying to impress you. And then Herod.
I'm already impressed.
And then King Herod is voice number 6. So I thought, well, I need something. So I made Gabriel my baseline because he shows up the most times. He announces to Mary, he announces to Joseph, he announces to the shepherds. So he shows up in 3 scenes. So my baseline is Gabriel, and I just do him basically as me, as kind of a soft Mr. Rogers-y version of me. Be not afraid, fear not. And I try to get into that mode. Because then for Isaiah, I'm thinking, well, I never saw a movie about Isaiah, but I did see Charlton Heston as Moses in the 10 Commandments. So
yes,
that's when I
inspiration.
I realize it doesn't sound like Moses, but now that you know that I'm thinking of Moses,
that's all I'm going to be able to think about. Yes.
When I say, behold.
You are now Charlton Heston.
As well, he was very nice. We used to interview him. He had books and art projects. He would come on KLOS, and I thought he was just a very pleasant man. So I admire him. And of course, 10 Commandments, I watch it every Easter, right? It's in my head. Moses, Moses, Moses. So I thought, all right.
Now,
so
Isaiah.
when he comes in and says, and the government will be on his shoulder, so I have to get into it again. I'm got to get back into it. So that's Isaiah. Then I think next is the centurion. It goes Isaiah, then Gabriel, then centurion, and it's in the script. Clears throat. I don't know why it is, but they want the centurion to clear his throat. And if I leave it out, they wag their finger at me like, no, during rehearsal. Make sure you do that. I guess it's a cue.
Yes.
It's a cue that the guy uses to open the scroll. So I do the clearing throat noise, and then I do the centurion voice. It's kind of and then I usually pop a lozenge. Because the next voice after that is the shepherd boy.
You have to.
So I do this. I actually physically squeeze my throat a little bit so that I can be the shepherd boy.
Yes.
And go higher on that. So I think that's 4 of them, right? Mm-hmm. So all that's left is Magus and Herod. Now, my next door neighbor on the other side, not the one who hired Handy Andy, but the other one.
Yes.
In fact, he should hire Handy Andy. I got to tell him about that. He's from Turkey.
Ooh,
and
interesting.
He is interesting, and we have each other. We're each other's emergency contacts. Mm-hmm. So I've had some trouble with the house alarm last year during the Clayton Holiday concert. My alarm went off. It turned out to be a false alarm. Mm-hmm. But next door neighbor Ted calls me because the alarm company has called him.
To make sure.
Right. And he's like, Frank, your alarm is going in the house. You want me to go over and look? What do you need? Well, you're best neighbor. I'll help you. Thank you so much.
Of course.
So he's got this, is beautiful. I love it, his voice. So when it comes time to do the Magus voice.
Yes. It is your neighbor.
I pretend I'm on the phone with my neighbor. I'm like, oh, okay, what would he say? And then at this point, I remember, I've got nothing to lose. I don't even think I'm invited back the following year.
Of course.
So I don't know.
And we did.
But I don't know. So I thought, well, what am I going to do for King Herod? I mean, he's clearly the villain. Mm-hmm. He's about to murder a bunch of thousands of babies.
Yes.
He's a terrible person.
Right.
What should I do about King Herod? So I imagined those Rankin Bass animated specials. Mm-hmm. And I thought of the Heat Miser. And then I thought of Snidely Whiplash from the old Dastardly, or was it Dick Dastardly? Another cartoon character, just Dick Dastardly, Snidely Whiplash, all these other Christmas villain characters, the bad guy from It's a Wonderful Life, anybody I could think of. And I ended up coming out with what I'll call the oiliest voice I could find.
That's a really good description.
I'm trying to go with oily and just the kind of, the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Yes.
Yeah. Treacle tots all free today. But except I make him a little more, when I make this face, I have to make this face. I have to pinch up my nose. And I say, Gil. And bring back word so that I may worship him also.
Yes. You have to make the face.
Well, because that changes your voice. I mean, you're making no one can see me. I'm in the last row of the rafters. But I make the face so that the sound comes out differently. Mm-hmm. And then I pop another line.
Just like the little boy or the shepherd boy.
Yeah, all the things.
That's amazing.
So that's how I do it. And then that's my last line. And the place still got like 15 minutes to go. I'm like ready to leave. And I can't.
Because you're at the very top.
I can't push past
Probably can't see.
Bob and Sims to get out of my way.
Excuse me, I'm done now.
I turn off my lamp and I just sit back. And actually at that point, I've just become a spectator. Yes. And I can just watch.
Yes, but the end is just so magical.
It is. It's the best.
It brings me to tears I
got tissues.
Every time. Every time. The Hallelujah chorus, it'll get you.
Everybody stands up for that.
Yes. It's pretty amazing.
It's a wonder. There's so many rumors about why people everywhere stand up for the Hallelujah chorus.
I think it just inspires.
That's a good answer. There's a rumor, I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but the rumor is that the first time that the Messiah was performed, the king thought it was over, and also he didn't want to sit any longer because he had pain in that area from a medical condition that can,
Sure.
So he stood up, and once the king stands, everybody stood.
Right.
So it became that's one alleged rumor of it. But it happens everywhere. My wife sang most of the Handel's Messiah with the Knoxville Choral Society and the Knoxville Symphony Orchestra over Thanksgiving weekend. And she loves being in that huge chorus. And they had great soloists this year too. But I almost wish everybody had stood up a beat before. I almost wish the maestro had just said, "Go ahead and stand up."
Go ahead.
Because as soon as they're singing Hallelujah, and the audience is like, "Oh, we gotta get up."
Yes.
And the chairs are creaking. Meanwhile, they got for the Knoxville Symphony Orchestra and the Knoxville Choral Society, they got all new choir risers. So they're quiet, they're carpeted, and they got chairs.
That's
so
very nice.
They were able to stand up and sit down during the concert and not make noise, because they used to have these creaky
really
old,
difficult,
like this chair, like a creaky old bleachers.
Yes.
And then they've got backs, they've got chairs, and Maestro had them even sing one part while they were seated, and then they all get up together. It was like, it was nice.
It's a different sound too when you're seated and
standing.
and
and he's Aaron Demerjen is a singer. He knew that too. I'm on another concert on another show that you've missed it already. But it's not too late to come to the Nativity Pageant, because one of the soloists, actually read the list, because there's a guy, I think his name is Cody Boling, maybe?
Yes, Cody Boling.
I saw him in an opera over the summer.
Oh, that's exciting.
I went to see Susanna with Marble City Opera. And my friend Catherine Frady is the most frequent of our Frank and Friends co-hosts. And she played Susanna, and she put on the whole show. And Cody played her best little friend from the next cabin over, Little Bat. And he creates the unfortunate drama in the thing. But Cody did a great job of playing Little Bat and had a great voice. I'm looking forward to hearing him sing at the Nativity Pageant.
Yes, we have 3 soloists this year.
That's more.
We have had 1 in the past. We've had 2 in the past, and this year we have 3. And Ginny Herrick is also a soloist, and Julie Moss. So
great.
It should be very interesting. The music should be wonderful, and the children's choir edition is going to be...
Now, last year, Andrew Duncan did change up the music selections a little bit.
Yes.
And people were worried that, but you don't really, I'm not going to say you don't notice, because the new selections were fine. They fit right in.
They fit right in.
Yeah. And it also freshens it up a bit, because, the story doesn't change. That's in the script. The story never changes.
Yes. That was very important, to move the story along in the same fashion. And so the songs that were chosen do fit right in.
Yeah.
And make it a little bit more modern without the feeling of being modernized.
Right. Because, some of these are hymns that would be appropriate in church, obviously, because you're hearing, one year maybe hearing Mary's thoughts as the soloist sings that part, or
Gabriel's perspective, and it's very nice.
And there's parts where, and the heavenly host are singing, obviously, something.
And my daughter is the heavenly host, or a heavenly host.
Explain that.
So there are angels in the choir.
Yeah.
And I think it's just part of the script where they appear.
Yeah, that's another trick they do with lighting, where all of a sudden more lights come on, and you're like, wait, there's people all over.
She is so very excited. It's a special...
Is this her first time?
It is her second time. She got to fill in last year. And very similar. They
invited
her back.
Nice.
And said that you are able to do this.
That's outstanding.
So.
Now, she's a twirler like you, right?
Yes.
In fact, everyone you know is a twirler except me, I think. Is that correct?
That's correct. I love a good twirler. It's funny, the people that say, I used to do that. How fun. That's amazing.
You still do it, though.
Yes.
And you're a grown-up.
I am a grown-up.
Explain, Mindy, explain that, because imagine me. Sometimes, you meet somebody in a context, and then you see them in a different context. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, what are you doing here? Why isn't there a nativity pageant float in this parade?
Where's your blue shirt?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yes.
But you were a majorette, at the University of Tennessee, which is like top level. That's SEC, baby.
Yes.
But how did you get there? And then why and how did you continue?
Well, I started twirling when I was really little.
They all do, right?
Yes. Most people start. Usually 3 and 4 is too young.
Did you start as the actual baton? And an adult twirls you? Is that how it works?
No. That is cheerleading. No, we moved to Knoxville from Nashville, and that was the promise of my parents.
Oh, that you could get into.
You can do this.
Oh.
And I was 6 years old and really enjoyed it. And I twirled at Farragut High School and went to UT and also twirled there with some of my dearest friends that I had grown up twirling with. And
wow.
So then all of a sudden I realized there was no one teaching in West Knoxville at all. There was a studio in South Knoxville, East Knoxville.
And where you got to get more majorettes.
And it's a dying sport.
They age out.
Yes. You can always, it's a lifelong sport as I'm still twirling, but yes,
Meaning it's a dying sport that there weren't enough young kids being taught because everyone's getting whatever the fashionable thing is.
Whether it's dance or cheer or ballet or soccer or basketball. There's just so many things. And so baton twirling has just kind of gone to the wayside. And I thought, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can get a little group together.
And it's been quite successful.
And they're great. It's a lot of fun.
Now, how often...
And we love a parade.
Oh, yeah. Now, it's called Tri-Star, like the Tennessee flag.
Yes.
How often do you have classes? Is it just during the summer, just during vacations? Or
once a week during the school year.
Oh, nice.
And we do it at Central Baptist.
Yeah.
And
right there in Bearden? They put an Andy's Frozen Custard across the street.
Yes, they did.
That is quite the
very good
temptation. I know.
It is. We've had it already
Oh,
as a group.
I
We
mean,
have gone over there.
I've been there. I've been there and made a video already.
It is so. It's amazing.
In fact, I believe I have some in the freezer.
Yes, a cement mixer or what are they called?
I got the Andy's eggnog shake, the Andy Nog.
Yes.
And I was very good because as delicious as it was, I put half of it in a container and saved it for another day. But now I've frozen it into a rock. So if I want to drink it again, I have to plan.
At least enough time for
at
it
least
to
an hour.
thaw.
Yeah. So I can't just have it on impulse. I have to actually plan for it.
Yes, I can understand that.
But it was good. I love eggnog.
It's great Christmas.
But usually I dislike eggnog shakes because when you make it with vanilla ice cream, there's not enough eggnog.
Right.
But when you make it with vanilla custard, custard has eggs in it.
Yes. It is much better.
It's much better. Well, anyway, all right, so back to twirling across the street from the custard joint.
Yes. We do that once a week.
And you have summer camps and
we have
things like
summer
that.
camps and winter
That's
camps
great.
and stuff like that.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, the girls really enjoy it, and they compete on all state, regional, and national levels. And
I'm always fascinated
pretty
when, see, as in my field in broadcasting, and you end up visiting a lot of different types of things, whether it's the Akima Cabaret, whether it's
Yes.
the Nativity Pageant, whether it's, or I was in the Oak Ridge Civic Ballet for a few years
Yes.
as a comedy character. So you see, we all see the tip of the iceberg.
right,
Oh, look at that. They're in the parade. They twirl.
that's really nice.
That's lovely.
Yes,
Or they put on the ballet once a year, which is not
Yes.
not true. They put on three ballets a year. But look, they're doing this. They're doing this.
the Nutcracker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, but when you get into a little bit deeper down and you start realizing the depth and the scope of what is beneath the surface,
Yes.
of the amount of practice and work, and then I was blown away by the similarities, and I see this in the pageant world because I've hosted some pageants. Don't take this the wrong way, but I went to my friend who is a dog, she trains dogs. Now she's a judge at dog
Yes.
shows. So she said, please come to Atlanta. We were driving through Atlanta. She said, stop by. I'm going to be judging a dog show. I'm sure.
Fantastic.
Well, you get to the dog show, and it's the same as the swim meet, and it's the same as the dance competition, and it's the same because
Yes.
there's a professional photographer
There's
taking
a format.
photos of the dogs jumping over the hoops, same as there's one taking pictures of the ballroom dancers, as there's one taking pictures of the swimmers,
Yes.
trying to sell you a photo.
Right.
And then there's a shop, like at the big county-wide swim meet. They're selling bathing suits and
Yes.
goggles and swim caps. At
Kinds of gear.
At the ballroom dance competition, they're selling, replacement heels and shoes and hosiery and ball gowns, danceable
Yes.
ball gowns, and all of that accoutrement. And sure enough, at the dog show, they're selling crates and
And yes, all kinds of things.
So you know
It
what I'm
is a
talking
huge
about.
production.
everything is a huge production.
At the Nativity Pageant, they're selling ornaments and
Yeah,
videos of the show, and
that's what I'm trying to say. Is
so
it's
many things.
so amazing.
Yes.
I think everyone has their
preparation.
one iceberg where that all this. I'm telling you
Yes.
all this, and you're like, of course I knew that. But when you think about it, how it's duplicated in all these
Across the
other,
board.
yeah. I don't know why it just blows me away it gives me an appreciation when I go to an event.
for sure.
Think, they didn't just show up and do this.
This isn't just done. So our choir practices
Have been
only
going on for months, right, or weeks.
just weeks, I think,
Right.
but they only really have 3 to 4 because the music doesn't.
Well, see, in the music world, I noticed this with my wife, who is in the choral society, and my friend Catherine, who's a professional opera singer. They are expected to take it home with them.
Yes, they get the music.
Right,
and practice it at home.
That's a different beast because much of it, you've got to. My wife's got her pitch pipe. She's got a little piano, plastic piano in the other room, so she can do that. There'll be in fact, between now and Christmas, we are very busy.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure.
Because she
the
sings
holiday
at
season.
church services in addition to these concerts that we're talking about.
Yes.
But they're expected to practice at home. And then when they rehearse as a group, it's more about the blend.
Right. Not learning new material.
It's not about learning the
or
material. You're supposed to
anything
already
like
know it
Yes.
before you show up.
And just fine tuning.
Yeah, and they'll even have, I assume you guys do this too, but the big choirs, they used to have practice CDs.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And the CD would have on it just the soprano part or maybe just, or you could have multiple tracks. You could hear the whole thing, or you could hear it broken out into sopranos or altos or bass or tenor, and sing along and practice with your part.
Right.
Or listen to maybe just the instrumental track, because you're supposed to do all that at home. But now they do it, of course, as MP3s or WAV files or whatever.
Very easy.
Yeah. They go to his website and they download it. And my wife can also download the PDFs of the sheet music, so then she could stand up there with her iPad.
Very high tech.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of having to carry this big binder.
I think we still have binders at the...
Some shows, well, there's one show, Maestro
Nativity
Demergen, on one show, I think it's the Clayton Holiday concert, doesn't allow iPads because it messes up with the lighting.
The lighting, sure.
You know what I'm talking about. Because they've got, all of a sudden, you've got this iPad
and everybody's faces are...
And he doesn't want that.
Right.
He wants the light, they got this, twinkly star set behind them. Similar.
And that's planned, and you don't want to mess with the lighting.
It's showbiz, baby.
So,
well, that's a lot of behind the scenes.
Yes.
All right, what else can I get from you, Mindy, before you go?
We do the pageant, obviously,
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Please come. Please enjoy it. It's
come.
free.
It is.
I mean, you take up a collection or anything? No.
Yes, we take up a collection at the very end.
Oh, that's right. It's the wise men stand there with their crowns out.
Well, and it's really important because it's a free event. So for us to be able to continue to do the pageant the way that it's done, there are so many volunteers.
And it's its own
that
charity.
Are part of it. Yes.
I think it's interesting that it's not affiliated with any particular church or denomination.
It's not. And so we really have volunteers from everywhere.
I think that works to your favor because it really, obviously it's a Christian story,
yes.
But it doesn't matter if you're Catholic or Presbyterian or Methodist or Baptist, because it's the same story.
Yes.
It's lifted right out of the Bible. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
just, when I say I'm doing these character voices, I'm reading Bible quotes for the most part, and as these characters. And
so it's enjoyable for everyone.
Yeah.
Churches bring groups of people. Oh, we have a Spanish translation this
Really?
year. Yes, we have headsets.
That's fantastic. Do they do it live, or how does that work? Oh, wow.
Which will be very interesting.
Where are they going to sit?
They'll have reserved seating.
They're going to be up with me and doing the Spanish?
That usually we have an interpreter for sign language for the hearing impaired.
Yeah.
They may be over there. I'm not exactly sure where.
Yeah.
But there'll be a reserved seating.
Because that would be kind of funny if the Spanish language guy and I were competing to talk louder.
Yes. It would be very interesting. He will steal all of your tricks that you have given away.
It's a free show.
Yes. But it is free, and we do depend on donations.
Well, I think imagine if you buy one of the beautiful Christmas ornaments.
Oh, yes.
That will help. I mean,
it does.
I like those.
We have Christmas ornaments and T-shirts that have the nativity. They don't look like this, but they are very...
Are they different
They
every year?
have the nativity scene that's on the program.
Yeah, this is just for the boss ladies. There's boss ladies only for this. You know what? I went through this whole interview and I forgot to bring up my favorite...
Your favorite part?
My favorite part. My favorite part is the story of Jesus. It's
Yes.
nice. We love all that. It's very emotional. But as you know, I'm teasing. In fact, I'm disappointed you didn't bring me any.
I know.
Some nativity.
Yes, the tea.
Explain this. This is.
Do you know I can get some for you?
Oh, you got to deal it. I need some of that. You got some of that nativity. They backstage.
Yes.
Some generous donors will provide snacks.
Yes.
In fact, actually, there's a whole box lunch on the day that we have a full day. We're there on Saturday from 9
Dress
a.m.
rehearsal and the production until...
all the way until 4 or something. By the time we get out of there, it's 5. But they're basically there 9 to 5 on Saturday.
Yes.
So there's a lunch break. And because you don't want everybody leaving and not getting back in time on a busy Saturday in downtown Knoxville.
Yes. We provide...
Yeah, there's a box lunch.
and snacks.
You can get like a turkey sandwich or a...
Yes.
Whatever the other option, ham sandwich.
Great sponsors.
Yeah. So they also have beverages, and yes, there's coffee and there's soft drinks. But somebody goes to all this trouble to make spiced tea, and it's not really tea. It's really.
And it is not a mix that is ready made. It is part this, part that. They really take time. Our hospitality crew is amazing.
My wife makes a version of it that includes powdered iced tea mix and powdered tang.
Definitely tang.
It's got some iced tea mix in there, I think.
I think it's iced tea.
And some tang.
And country time.
And then lemonade, and then some other things. And it's hot. They serve it piping hot.
Very good.
And it's got, I'll say, well, at least psychosomatically, I will say it's got or a placebo-like magical powers.
It really does.
Because it keeps me from getting sick while I'm at the pageant.
Yes.
You know, I don't know.
It must be the Tang.
Maybe. But I will bring my travel coffee mug and fill it up, and because right before the show, and then I maybe about halfway through is when it's finally cool enough to drink.
Yes, it is piping hot as well as the coffee. I thought you might say the Christmas tree cakes. Those are always.
Oh, the Little Debbie cakes.
Yes,
those are popular.
They are
too.
a staple, and they are.
Yeah,
so
those
popular.
are donated from Little Debbie. That's not nice.
From McKee Foods, yeah.
Yeah,
they donate all kinds of stuff. It's really nice.
Well, so that's now. If you wanted to get into the cast. Or get into, I mean, you'd have to knock me off to try to be the voice guy.
You have to wait on auditions. No,
But I mean, if there's room, I imagine every year you bring in some new people to be the 200 Bible characters who are down there on the floor.
Yes, there's villagers, and there are all kinds of cast members that you can be. I think everyone starts out as a villager.
Yeah, you don't just get to cruise in and be Mary and Joseph.
Well, we actually have a new Mary.
Oh, right. So she auditioned, though.
She did audition,
okay.
Yes. And I think that they're trying to make it a recurring thing where Mary is an auditioned role.
Yeah.
Every year. So kind of like soloists. So you have to audition. And
that makes sense.
You can be Mary more than once, but but that is the only audition.
Who's Mary this year?
Her name.
I see her picture over there.
Oh, is up here. Is Sherleen Mwaura.
Nice. Fantastic.
Yes. So I think she's going to do a very good job. I've heard great things about her.
Yeah.
And
because the last year's Mary finally she's a grandmother now. Is that right?
No. I think she's my age, but Mary, I think Mary is 16.
She's been. But I'm saying that
13?
the old Mary finally hung up the mantle after years.
She was a great Mary.
She's so good.
Wonderful
she did great.
Mary.
But I mean, after a while, you get to a point where you're like, I've been doing this for she probably was married for like 16 years.
Yes, it was a very long time.
Yeah.
So.
And Mary's supposed to only be 16 years old in the show. Is that right?
Yeah. I was like, she's a young character, and so I think we're going to open that up to have auditions. But
that's great.
To be on the cast, to be a villager, or to be part of it, you just join a waiting list. You have to be 9. Is the only requirement.
9 years old. Okay. Yes. Is the same guy doing Isaiah?
Oh yes, Eddie DeBusk.
Eddie DeBusk.
One of my favorite characters.
Because he and I have this thing. He loves to. He's always got it. In fact, I needed to hear it from him.
He has a great story.
Well, but also just the. He counts on me to be his voice, but I also count on him to help me with the pacing of it.
Yes.
Because I'm not a machine.
Sure.
I'm doing it live every time.
Right.
And during the rehearsal, he and I got to get back in that rhythm.
In your groove.
Yeah, so that if I do it too fast, he's got to tell me to slow down. If I'm doing it too slow, he's got to tell me to speed up. And he's got to remind me of what the cues are. He's like, no, by the time I turn around and go like this, you need to be saying, and the government shall rest upon his shoulder.
Yes. And he is very involved in the pageant. He's been there from the beginning.
Oh, no kidding.
So I think
55 years?
I think 55 years he has been in it. I think his mom was on the original board.
Well, fortunately, Isaiah is a very, very old character, and he needs less makeup every year.
Yes. And he
Sorry,
does
Eddie, that's a joke, Eddie.
Wonderful job.
That's a joke. But I know he. First of all, I'm always worried that he's going to scold me for being it wrong. But I need it. I need to hear from him because his guidance gets me into the right frame of mind to be the voice of him. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to talking to Eddie again.
He's great.
Yeah.
He is really great. There's going to be new people this year, I think. I think they cleared the waiting list last year.
Oh, wow.
They have a new waiting list this year.
Last year, the guy who played Gabriel was like 12 feet tall.
He's back, Jonathan Schmidt.
I'm exaggerating because he's got the wings on, but when he takes off the costume and he's pushing.
He's still very tall.
He's got to be 6.5, if not, he's close to 7 feet tall.
I think he's 6'7", maybe.
He's very tall.
Yes.
And
his wife Allison is very tall, and their kids are tall.
Yeah.
It's just the wings. He really makes a statement.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, oh, that guy's a real angel.
Yes,
yeah.
He is an angel.
That's good stuff. Wow.
Yes.
Well, anyway, so it's obviously we love this project, and we only get to do it 3 times.
It is.
Really 5 if you count the rehearsals on Saturday morning, but you can't come to those.
No, those are practice. That is the behind the scenes that no one gets to see. We get to try it out.
Yeah, but it goes pretty well. It goes real smoothly. All right.
It is wonderful.
Well, that is Saturday at 3, Sunday at 3, Monday night at
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock in the Civic Coliseum, which parking is $5. I mean, unless you want to park further away and walk, which you can do. But we'll be there for all of those performances. And if you do come, I would love it if you sit on my side of the arena, at least wave. But after the show, come on up and say hi, or go get your picture made with Mindy or Kim Sims or Kim Sims Thomas, whatever your name is.
Sims Amy, Bob, yes.
Oh, the whole gang. Get your picture made with them, or more likely, go get your picture made with Gabriel or Mary or Joseph or Herod or one of the, one of the gang.
It's amazing.
All right.
It's a great experience.
Website is
nativitypageantofknoxville.com.
But more likely you'll find up-to-date stuff on their Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
Best way to keep in touch. All right. Well, good. Anything else? Are we done?
I think so.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on YouTube. You can also, of course, subscribe on any of the audio platforms if you prefer to just listen while you're driving around, including Audible. And visit our merch store at frankandfriendsshow.com/store, because I had the stuff that I was going to show off again. Here's the hoodie. Can you imagine this? I'd like to get another hoodie, a different color, because I like, I've got to advertise the brand, But that's a nice one with the little logo on the front, and then the towel, and the mug. Actually, Sarah Roberto bought one of these. I think she bought a canvas print, because she must have come into some money. The mug. Please enjoy. All right.
Drink your eggnog or hot chocolate.
You know what I discovered last year, and this was deadly. I gained weight because of it. I love eggnog. I love Weigel's eggnog. Yes. And if I poured, I got the measuring cup out. I forget the amount, but I knew whatever it was. Not a quarter cup, maybe a little more. Pour it in there, microwave it. Right? Microwave the eggnog. Okay. In the cup, and then I have my whisk, and I whisk it up, and then you pour it on top of your coffee, and you have made an eggnog latte.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just telling you. It's the simplest thing. You don't even need the espresso. You just get regular plain old hot black coffee. And
no sugar?
Well, the eggnog is loaded with sugar.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
Yeah, and that's so you whisk it up, you microwave it, make it hot, whisk it, make it frothy.
Yes.
And when it's frothy enough for you, just delicately pour it on top of your coffee so it floats on top. And I am telling you, that is a recipe for disaster when you are trying to lose weight.
As is all of holiday snacking, candy.
Even the nativity.
Box lunches.
The nativity. Is loaded with sugar. I'm positive.
Well, everybody has to,
I love it.
Stay warm and
yeah, it's good stuff.
Awake and all.
Well, I hope that this wasn't too burdensome for you.
Not at all. Not at all. I love it. I love the pageant. It's very near and dear to my heart, and I just love it. So
well, Mindy, I guess I'll see you at the pageant this weekend, and then not again for a year.
I know. It's that time.
Or do you go to the Akima Cabaret or any of those things? You go to some of that stuff? So maybe our paths will cross again before next year at the Christmas parade. Yes. That's basically it. We see each other a lot.
It's like, hi,
for 2 weeks, and then 50 weeks of nothing.
Yes. We'll have to change that. Yes.
It is the Frank and Friends Show. My name is Frank Murphy.
And I'm Mindy Thomas.
And we'll talk to you again next time.